Hello, Commanders fans. Today we have some hot news that you can't miss, so get ready because there's a lot of important information coming. Before we start, we'd like to take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and stay up to date with all the news about our Washington Commanders. Don't forget to leave a like, which really strengthens our community and helps bring this content to the most passionate fans of the team. Now, without further ado, let's get straight to today's news. Deebo Samuel vows to repay Commanders' faith after trade. Deebo Samuel is ready to prove himself in Washington. After the Commanders acquired him from San Francisco and guaranteed the final year of his contract, the veteran receiver made it clear he intends to repay their faith. "They put so much trust in me," Samuel said. "I can't come in here and let them down." Commanders' investment in Samuel. The Commanders traded a fifth-round pick to the 49ers for Samuel, finalizing the deal on March 12th after agreeing to terms earlier in the month. Unlike the 49ers, Washington opted not to use an option bonus that would have spread its impact on the salary cap over 2 seasons. Instead, they fully guaranteed the final year of his contract, previously non-guaranteed, and added $3 million in incentives. As a result, Samuel will count $17.55 million against Washington's salary cap in 2024. The team also signed former Cowboys wide receiver Michael Gallup to a 1-year deal. Gallup briefly retired after being released by Dallas and signed with Las Vegas last season. New start in Washington. For Samuel, Washington offers a reset after 6 seasons with the 49ers. In his first news conference since the trade, he acknowledged that requesting a trade was difficult, but said he was eager to show his new team what he could still do. "They're getting a motivated Deebo," he said via video conference. "You've got a dog out there. Those young legs are still moving. That body is still functioning really well." Samuel told 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan after the season that he wanted out, citing a need for change. Washington, one of the 5 teams he targeted, appealed to him for a simple reason. "I like winners," Samuel said. "I'm not one of their biggest losers. They have a good team, for sure, and they were just stepping up." The Commanders finished 12-5 last season, marking their first winning record since 2016, and reached the NFC Championship game for the first time since 1991. A key factor in Samuel's decision was quarterback Judon Daniels, the reigning NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Samuel's former 49ers teammate Brandon Ayuk, who played with Daniels at Arizona State, has long praised the young quarterback. "That's all BA used to say. My boy's about to win the Heisman. My boy's about to do this. My boy's about to do that," Samuel said. He won the Heisman and came into the league and played extremely well. "Everything Ayuk said would happen, happened. Just watching him grow and seeing how well he played last year, I was like, man, why not try to come here and help in any way I can?" A chance to bounce back. Samuel's ability to impact a game, both as a receiver and a runner, was a major factor in Washington's interest. Over his career, he totaled 4,792 receiving yards and 22 touchdowns, along with 1,143 rushing yards and 20 rushing touchdowns. However, he struggled with injuries last season, finishing with just 806 yards from scrimmage, his fewest in any full season. Despite the challenges, Samuel believes he still has more to offer. "Everybody wants to see me take my game to a level that I don't think it can reach," he said. "But everybody says there's another level, so I'm going to take it to the next level. Strive to reach that level." The Commanders are being touted as the ideal place to revive the career of a once prolific free agent. The Commanders need to further improve their defense ahead of the 2025 season. Adam Peters has focused his recruitment on proven, aging veterans who can provide short-term assistance. It was an approach that proved highly successful for the Washington Commanders last season. The general manager expects the same approach again in 2025. One respected analyst believes that Ethos could put the Commanders in the running for a once prolific pass rusher who is nearing the end of his career. Generating pressure proved to be problematic at times for the Commanders during their memorable run to the NFC Championship game. Things improved as the campaign progressed, but Washington can't afford another slow start with a bigger target on its back. Dietrich Wise Jr. was the only notable addition at wing in free agency. The Commanders are locking up the interior with Javon Kinlaw, though many perceive the move as overpaying. Jacob Martin offers rotational versatility, but he's nothing more than a depth piece until further notice. The Commanders could address that need via the 2025 NFL Draft. They only have 5 picks at the moment, so adding another experienced player to the mix would give Peters an extra sense of flexibility when the draft comes around. Matthew Judon would provide experience and proven production to the Commanders' defense. ESPN's Bill Barnwell thought the Commanders would be a good landing spot for edge rusher Matthew Judon at this stage of his career. While stacking starting responsibilities might be a stretch, the analyst thought he represents an intriguing addition to the rotation if Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. pick their spots effectively. Matthew Judon is a solid, smart player, but since he turns 33 this year, a new team would likely need to continue to play him in a part-time role in an edge rushing rotation. He had 20-plus passes in 5 consecutive seasons from 2018 to 22 and 9 in 4 games before suffering a season-ending injury with the Pats in 2023. The hope would naturally be that 2024 would be an outlier on a team where no one seemed capable of getting after the quarterback. The Falcons signaled their decision to move on from Judon by signing Leonard Floyd as a free agent, but Judon should eventually find a 1-year deal with a contender. Bill Barnwell. Judon was a dynamic pass rusher at the height of his powers. A devastating injury during the 2023 campaign caused him to miss his explosiveness when he joined the Atlanta Falcons last season. He managed to play a full slate of games with a poor defense, but teams weren't exactly beating down his door with offers in the early stages of free agency. Commanders select SEC cornerback in Mel Kiper's latest mock draft. The 2025 NFL Draft is coming up, and the Washington Commanders have the unique ability to select players who don't necessarily need to make an immediate impact. Sure, they'll want the players they select to see the field, but they don't need to take over the position they play right away. They'll have time to develop the players they select, which is a luxury most teams don't have. Because the Commanders are so well prepared and have had so much success in 2024, it's been difficult for analysts and insiders to predict who they'll select with their first-round pick. ESPN's Mel Kiper recently released a mock draft after the initial free agency frenzy, and he predicts the Commanders will select Kentucky cornerback Maxwell Hairston. Hairston was also my projected pick for the Commanders before the Combine. It makes sense. Washington is in win-now mode, and cornerback remains an unknown even after the team traded for Marshawn Lattimore at the trade deadline last year. The Commanders signed Jonathan Jones and Noah Igbinoghene to replace Benjamin St. Just, but Hairston could still work his way into a starting role on the outside. He can create takeaways, 6 INTs over the past 2 seasons. And he ran a 4.28 at the Combine, the fastest 40-yard dash of any position this year. Finding the outside corner spots would allow Mike Sainristil to settle back into the slot, where he's at his best. Hairston played 3 years at the University of Kentucky. During that time, he recorded 87 tackles, 69 solo, 1 sack, 3 forced fumbles, 6 interceptions, 10 pass deflections, and 3 touchdowns. The Commanders' secondary could definitely use some depth after losing Jeremy Chin and others in free agency. Marshawn Lattimore spent most of 2024 injured, so we'll see what he can or can't do this year. Rookie Mike Sainristil has kept the secondary together with Chin, but the Commanders' defense needs some love this offseason. We've seen predictions that the Commanders will draft a tight end, a receiver, a linebacker, an edge rusher, and now a cornerback. It's hard to say what Dan Quinn and Adam Peters have up their sleeves in 2025, but you can be sure it will move this team in the right direction.